The next phrase is at somebody's expense. At somebody's expense means to benefit from someone else's misfortune or to make fun of them. He made jokes at her expense during the meeting. This means he made jokes about her, possibly embarrassing her, for his own amusement. They built their success at the expense of others. This means they became successful by harming or taking advantage of others. He laughed at his friend's mistake, all at his expense. This means he laughed about his friend's mistake, making him feel bad. The next phrase is at the best of times. At the best of times means in the most favorable or ideal circumstances. At the best of times, the job can be stressful. This means even when everything is going well, the job can still be stressful. At the best of times, she struggles to keep up with the work. This means even when things are going smoothly, she finds it difficult to handle the work. At the best of times, we don't have much free time. This means even in the best situation, we don't have a lot of spare time. The next phrase is at the earliest. At the earliest means the soonest possible time. The project will be completed at the earliest by next Monday. This means the earliest possible time to finish the project is next Monday. At the earliest, we will have the report by the end of the week. This means we expect the report to be ready by the end of this week at the soonest. The doctor will see you at the earliest opportunity. This means the doctor will see you as soon as possible. The next phrase is at the hands of somebody. At the hands of somebody means something happening due to someone's actions, often something negative. The town suffered at the hands of the invading army. This means the town was harmed or affected by the actions of the invading army. He was injured at the hands of the attacker. This means the injury was caused by the attacker's actions. The company was damaged at the hands of poor management. This means the company suffered due to the poor decisions made by its management. The next phrase is at the latest. At the latest means by the most recent or final time possible. The report is due by Friday at the latest. This means the report must be submitted by Friday or earlier. I'll be home by 10 p.m. at the latest. This means I will arrive home no later than 10 p.m. The project must be completed by next month at the latest. This means the project should be finished no later than next month. The next word is tender. Tender means soft or gentle or a feeling of kindness and care. She has a tender heart and always helps those in need. This means she is very kind and caring. He gave her a tender smile when she was upset. This means he smiled gently to show kindness and support. The meat was so tender that it fell apart easily. This means the meat was soft and easy to break apart. The next phrase is at the tender age of. At the tender age of means at a very young age. He started playing the piano at the tender age of 5. This means he began learning to play the piano when he was only 5 years old. At the tender age of 18, she moved to a new city to study. This means she moved to a new city to pursue her studies when she was just 18. He published his first book at the tender age of 22. This means he published his first book when he was still very young, just 22 years old. The next phrase is at this rate. At this rate means if things continue in the same way. At this rate, we won't finish the project on time. This means if things continue as they are, we won't be able to complete the project on time. At this rate, we'll run out of money by the end of the month. This means if things continue like this, we'll have no money left by the end of the month. At this rate, it will take us another week to finish. This means if the current pace continues, it will take us another week to finish. The next phrase is at your fingertips. At your fingertips means easily accessible or ready to be used. All the information you need is at your fingertips with the internet. This means the internet gives you easy access to all the information you need. With the new software, all the tools are at your fingertips. This means you can easily use all the tools provided by the software. The recipe was right at her fingertips on her phone. This means she could easily access the recipe on her phone. The next phrase is at your own risk. At your own risk means you are responsible for any possible negative consequences. You can try the experiment, but do it at your own risk. This means you can try the experiment, but you are responsible for anything that might go wrong. The sign said, enter at your own risk because of the dangerous conditions. This means the sign warned that you could enter, but you would be responsible if anything bad happened. You can go hiking in the forest, but at your own risk. This means you can go hiking, but be aware that you are responsible if something goes wrong. The next phrase is at your side. At your side means being with you, usually offering support. I'll be at your side during the entire presentation. This means I will be with you, supporting you throughout the presentation. He stood at her side as she faced the difficult decision. This means he was there to support her during a challenging moment. The doctor will be at your side during the surgery. This means the doctor will be with you, helping you during the surgery. The next phrase is by your side. By your side means very close to you, supporting you. She promised to stay by your side no matter what happens. This means she will remain with you and support you in any situation. His family was by his side during the entire recovery process. This means his family stayed close to him, offering support while he recovered. He knew his best friend would always be by his side in times of need. This means his best friend would always be there for him, especially during tough times. The next word is outset. Outset means the beginning or start of something. From the outset, we knew the project would be challenging. This means from the very beginning, we understood the project would be difficult. At the outset of the meeting, they introduced the new agenda. This means they presented the new agenda at the start of the meeting. At the outset, she was excited about the new job. This means she was excited right at the beginning of her new job. The next phrase is at the outset. At the outset means at the beginning or start of something. At the outset of the project, we had a clear plan. This means at the start of the project, we knew what we wanted to do. At the outset of the meeting, the manager explained the goals. This means the manager talked about the goals at the beginning of the meeting. At the outset, everyone was eager to work on the new initiative. This means at the beginning, everyone was excited and ready to contribute. The next phrase is from the outset. From the outset means from the very beginning. From the outset, they made it clear that the project would take a long time. This means from the very start, they told everyone the project would be lengthy. From the outset, he was determined to finish the task on time. This means from the beginning, he made it his goal to complete the task by the deadline. They faced challenges from the outset of their journey. This means they encountered difficulties right from the start of their journey. The next phrase is attach importance to somebody. Attach importance to somebody means to consider someone as very significant or valuable. She attaches importance to her employees' well-being. This means she values the health and happiness of her employees. Parents should attach importance to their children's education. This means parents should consider their children's education to be very important. He attaches great importance to the advice of his mentor. This means he highly values the guidance and opinions of his mentor. The next phrase is attach value to somebody. Attach value to somebody means to regard someone as important or valuable. He attaches value to his team members' contributions. This means he appreciates and considers his team members' efforts to be important. She attaches value to honesty in all relationships. This means she believes honesty is very important in any relationship. They attach great value to their friendships. This means they regard their friendships as very significant. The next phrase is attach importance to something. Attach importance to something means to consider something significant or valuable. She attaches importance to staying healthy. This means she considers it very important to remain in good health. We should attach more importance to environmental conservation. This means we should value environmental protection more. He attaches great importance to learning new skills. This means he thinks it's very important to acquire new abilities. The next phrase is back away. Back away means to move backwards, often in fear or hesitation. When he saw the snake, he quickly backed away. This means he moved backwards because he was afraid of the snake. She backed away from the edge of the cliff. This means she moved away from the dangerous edge of the cliff. He backed away from the argument to avoid getting involved. This means he moved away or withdrew from the argument to stay out of it. The next phrase is back into. Back into means to move backwards into something. He accidentally backed into the parked car. This means he reversed his car and hit the parked car. She backed into the parking space carefully. This means she moved her car backwards into the parking spot with care. The truck backed into the loading dock to deliver goods. This means the truck reversed and positioned itself at the loading dock. The next phrase is back out. Back out means to withdraw from an agreement or situation. He decided to back out of the deal at the last moment. This means he chose not to go through with the deal right before it happened. She backed out of the project because of personal reasons. This means she decided not to participate in the project anymore. They had to back out of the competition due to financial difficulties. This means they withdrew from the competition because they couldn't afford it. The next phrase is back and forth. Back and forth means moving in one direction and then the opposite repeatedly. They were talking back and forth about the issue for hours. This means they were having a conversation, exchanging opinions repeatedly. The children ran back and forth across the yard. This means the children were running in one direction and then the other, repeatedly. The negotiations went back and forth before they reached an agreement. This means the discussions alternated between different positions before a decision was made. The next phrase is back to front. Back to front means in the wrong order or reversed. He wore his shirt back to front without realizing. This means he put his shirt on the wrong way with the back in front. The book was placed back to front on the shelf. This means the book was turned around with the back cover facing outwards. She accidentally arranged the papers back to front. This means she placed the papers in reverse order. The next phrase is be like water off a duck's back. Be like water off a duck's back means to not be affected or bothered by something. Criticism is like water off a duck's back to him. He never gets upset. This means he does not let criticism affect him at all. No matter how much they argue, it's like water off a duck's back for her. This means she remains unaffected by their arguments. The rude comments were like water off a duck's back to her. This means she didn't let the rude comments bother her at all. The next phrase is be a disgrace to. Be a disgrace to means to bring shame or dishonor to someone or something. He is a disgrace to his family after being caught cheating. This means his actions brought shame to his family. The team's poor performance was a disgrace to their coach. This means the team's failure caused embarrassment to their coach. Her behavior at the party was a disgrace to her reputation. This means her actions at the party harmed her reputation. The next phrase is be a first. Be a first means to be the first time something happens. This will be a first for me speaking in front of such a large audience. This means it's the first time I've ever spoken in front of a large audience. It was a first for the team to win the championship in 20 years. This means the team had never won the championship in the last 20 years. The event was a first in the history of the company. This means it was the first time the company organized such an event. The next word is recipe. Recipe means a set of instructions for preparing a particular dish, especially a cooking recipe. I need a recipe for making chocolate cake. This means I'm looking for instructions on how to make chocolate cake. She followed the recipe carefully to bake the perfect cookies. This means she used the instructions exactly to make cookies. The recipe calls for 3 cups of flour and 2 eggs. This means the instructions need 3 cups of flour and 2 eggs. The next phrase is be a recipe for. Be a recipe for means to be a situation that will likely result in something, usually something bad. His constant lateness is a recipe for disaster. This means if he continues being late, it will cause serious problems. Ignoring the rules is a recipe for failure in this project. This means if they ignore the rules, the project will likely fail. Not practicing regularly is a recipe for poor performance in sports. This means if they don't practice, they will not perform well. The next phrase is set the stage for. Set the stage for means to create the conditions necessary for something to happen. Her speech set the stage for the new project launch. This means her speech helped prepare everyone for the project's start. The team's hard work set the stage for their victory. This means their preparation made it possible for them to win. The economic crisis set the stage for a major change in policy. This means the crisis created the conditions that led to changes in policy. The next phrase is lead to. Lead to means to cause something to happen or result in something. His efforts led to the success of the campaign. This means his hard work caused the campaign to succeed. The heavy rain led to flooding in the streets. This means the rain caused the streets to flood. The wrong decision could lead to serious consequences. This means making the wrong choice could result in serious problems. The next word is revelation. Revelation means a surprising or unknown fact that is made known. The revelation of the new policy shocked everyone. This means the announcement of the new policy surprised everyone. The book contained many shocking revelations about the author's life. This means the book revealed many surprising facts about the author's life. Her revelation about the secret project changed everything. This means her revealing the secret project completely altered the situation. The next phrase is be a revelation. Be a revelation means to be something surprising or enlightening. The new movie was a revelation, offering a fresh perspective on life. This means the movie was surprising and gave new insights. Her speech was a revelation, inspiring everyone to act. This means her speech was eye-opening and motivated people. The documentary was a revelation, showing a side of history no one knew about. This means the documentary revealed surprising and previously unknown information. The next phrase is be aimed at doing something. Be aimed at doing something means to be intended to achieve a particular goal. The program is aimed at helping students improve their skills. This means the purpose of the program is to help students get better at their skills. The new law is aimed at reducing pollution. This means the law's goal is to cut down pollution. The advertisement is aimed at attracting young customers. This means the ad is designed to appeal to young customers. The next phrase is be alive and kicking. Be alive and kicking means to be full of energy or still active, especially after a difficult period. Despite his age, he is still alive and kicking. This means he is still energetic and active even though he is old. The company is alive and kicking after a successful recovery. This means the company is thriving and active after overcoming difficulties. The old tradition is alive and kicking in this village. This means the tradition is still being practiced and is vibrant. The next phrase is be alive and well. Be alive and well means to be healthy and still alive, often after a period of concern or uncertainty. She is alive and well despite the recent illness. This means she is in good health and still living despite being ill earlier. The business is alive and well, continuing to grow despite challenges. This means the business is doing fine and still thriving. His ideas are alive and well in modern science. This means his ideas are still influential and relevant today. The next phrase is be an effort. Be an effort means to require hard work or exertion to achieve something. Climbing the mountain was an effort, but was worth it. This means climbing the mountain was difficult and required a lot of energy, but it was rewarding. Learning a new language can be an effort at first. This means learning a new language can be challenging at the beginning. Completing the project on time was no easy effort. This means finishing the project on time required a lot of work and dedication. The next phrase is be an inspiration to somebody. Be an inspiration to somebody means to motivate or encourage someone through your actions or qualities. Her dedication to her work is an inspiration to everyone around her. This means her commitment to her work motivates others. He is an inspiration to young athletes aiming for success. This means he encourages young athletes to pursue success. The teacher's kindness was an inspiration to her students. This means the teacher's kindness motivated her students to act kindly as well. The next word is premium. Premium means a higher price paid for something of superior quality or an extra charge for something special. They offer a premium service for customers who want additional benefits. This means they provide a special service that comes at an extra cost. The premium version of the app includes extra features. This means the higher-priced version of the app offers additional options. He paid a premium to fly in first class. This means he paid extra money for a first-class flight. The next phrase is be at a premium. Be at a premium means to be scarce or in high demand. Parking spaces are at a premium in the city center. This means there are very few parking spaces available in the city center. Good quality teachers are at a premium in some areas. This means there is a high demand for good teachers, but few available. Space in the downtown area is at a premium. This means there is limited space available in the downtown area. The next phrase is be at liberty to do something. Be at liberty to do something means to be free to do something without any restrictions. You are at liberty to choose your own schedule. This means you are free to decide when you work. Employees are at liberty to use the company's facilities during breaks. This means employees can use the company's facilities during their free time. He was at liberty to speak his mind during the meeting. This means he had the freedom to express his opinions openly. The next phrase is be at odds with. Be at odds with means to be in disagreement or conflict with someone or something. The two leaders were at odds with each other over the proposed law. This means the two leaders disagreed about the law. He is at odds with his colleagues on the new project strategy. This means he disagrees with his colleagues about how to approach the project. The findings were at odds with the previous research. This means the findings contradicted or disagreed with the previous research. The next phrase is be in conflict with. Be in conflict with means to be in a situation where there is a clash or disagreement between two sides. Her beliefs were in conflict with the company's policies. This means her personal beliefs disagreed with the company's rules. The two groups are in conflict over the land dispute. This means the two groups are having a disagreement or struggle over the land. The actions of the employee were in conflict with the company's code of conduct. This means the employee's actions went against the company's rules. The next phrase is be at variance with. Be at variance with means to be in disagreement or conflict with something or someone. His opinion is at variance with the company's policies. This means his opinion disagrees with the company's rules. The findings were at variance with the expected results. This means the findings were different from what was expected. Her actions were at variance with her words. This means her actions contradicted what she said. The next word is stake. Stake means an interest or share in something, especially something valuable or important. He has a large stake in the company's success. This means he has a significant interest or investment in the company's success. The team has a stake in winning the championship. This means the team has something important to gain or lose by winning the championship. The investors have a financial stake in the project. This means the investors have an interest in the financial success of the project. The next phrase is be at stake. Be at stake means to be at risk or in danger of being lost. Our future is at stake in this election. This means the outcome of the election could have a significant impact on our future. The company's reputation is at stake if the product fails. This means the company could lose its good reputation if the product doesn't succeed. The team's victory is at stake in the final game. This means the team could lose the game and with it their chance at victory. The next word is jeopardy. Jeopardy means the risk of harm, loss, or failure. The hikers were in jeopardy due to the bad weather. This means the hikers were at danger because of the bad weather. The company's future is in jeopardy if it doesn't innovate. This means the company could face failure if it doesn't adapt. The endangered species is in jeopardy of extinction. This means the species is at risk of disappearing forever. The next phrase is be in jeopardy. Be in jeopardy means to be in a situation where there is a risk of harm, loss, or failure. His job was in jeopardy after the poor performance review. This means his job was at risk because of the bad review. The city's safety is in jeopardy due to the rising crime rates. This means the city's safety is at risk because crime is increasing. The company's profits are in jeopardy if the economy worsens. This means the company could lose money if the economy continues to decline. The next phrase is be at the mercy of somebody. Be at the mercy of somebody means to be controlled or influenced by someone else, often in a helpless way. The survivors were at the mercy of the storm. This means the survivors had no control over the storm and could only endure it. The hostages were at the mercy of their captors. This means the hostages had no control and were completely dependent on their captors. The town was at the mercy of the invading army. This means the town was defenseless and subject to the invader's will. The next phrase is be at the mercy of something. Be at the mercy of something means to be completely dependent on something, often with little control or protection. The animals were at the mercy of the changing weather. This means the animals were vulnerable and dependent on the unpredictable weather. The workers were at the mercy of the economy during the recession. This means the workers had little control over their situation because of the poor economy. The ship was at the mercy of the rough sea during the storm. This means the ship was vulnerable and completely influenced by the rough sea. And the next word is tether. Tether means a rope, chain, or other means used to tie something or to restrict movement. The dog was tied to a tree with a tether. This means the dog was fastened to a tree using a rope. The horse was held by a tether while grazing. This means the horse was secured by a rope while eating grass. He used a tether to keep the boat attached to the dock. This means he used a rope to secure the boat to the dock. The next phrase is be at the end of your tether. Be at the end of your tether means to be extremely frustrated or exhausted, having run out of patience or resources. After hours of work, she was at the end of her tether. This means she was very tired and frustrated after working for many hours. He was at the end of his tether after dealing with constant problems. This means he couldn't handle any more difficulties because he was exhausted. The teacher was at the end of her tether with the disruptive students. This means the teacher was frustrated and had lost patience with the students. The next phrase is reach the end of your tether. Reach the end of your tether means to reach a point where you can no longer cope with a situation. He reached the end of his tether after trying to fix the car all day. This means he became frustrated and could not continue fixing the car. She reached the end of her tether when the project kept getting delayed. This means she became frustrated and could no longer handle the delays. They reached the end of their tether after hours of waiting. This means they became very tired and frustrated after waiting for so long. The next word is wit. Wit means the ability to think quickly and humorously, often in clever or amusing ways. Her wit made her a popular guest at parties. This means her ability to make quick and clever jokes made her well-liked at parties. He is known for his sharp wit in conversations. This means he is recognized for his ability to make clever remarks during discussions. The comedian's wit had the audience laughing throughout the show. This means the comedian's quick, clever humor entertained the audience. The next phrase is be at your wit's end. Be at your wit's end means to be completely puzzled, frustrated, or confused because you don't know what to do anymore. After trying everything, she was at her wit's end. This means she was very frustrated and didn't know how to solve the problem. He was at his wit's end trying to fix the broken computer. This means he was frustrated and had no idea how to fix the computer. They were at their wit's end after waiting for hours in the rain. This means they were very frustrated and couldn't handle the situation anymore. The next phrase is be beside yourself with something. Be beside yourself with something means to be extremely upset or emotional. She was beside herself with excitement when she won the prize. This means she was very excited and couldn't control her emotions. He was beside himself with anger after hearing the bad news. This means he was extremely angry and overwhelmed by it. The parents were beside themselves with worry when their child went missing. This means the parents were very anxious and couldn't calm down. The next phrase is be blind to something. Be blind to something means to fail to notice or understand something, often because of a lack of awareness or insight. She was blind to the fact that her friend was upset. This means she didn't notice or realize that her friend was feeling bad. He was blind to the dangers of driving without a seatbelt. This means he didn't recognize the risks involved in not wearing a seatbelt. The company was blind to the negative impact of its policies on employees. This means the company didn't recognize or understand how its actions were affecting employees. The next phrase is be bursting with. Be bursting with means to be full of strong emotions or energy. She was bursting with excitement before the trip. This means she was extremely excited and could hardly contain her joy. He was bursting with pride when his son graduated. This means he felt very proud and happy about his son's achievement. The garden was bursting with colorful flowers. This means the garden was full of vibrant and beautiful flowers. The next phrase is be overflowing with. Be overflowing with means to be filled with something in great quantity, often emotions or things. Her heart was overflowing with joy. This means she felt extremely happy. The table was overflowing with delicious food. This means the table was full of a lot of tasty food. His speech was overflowing with gratitude. This means his speech was full of words that expressed thankfulness. The next phrase is be calculated to do something. Be calculated to do something means to be planned or designed to achieve a specific effect. His words were calculated to impress the audience. This means he carefully chose his words to make people admire him. The advertisement was calculated to attract young customers. This means the advertisement was designed to appeal to young people. The new policy is calculated to reduce costs. This means the policy was created with the goal of saving money. The next phrase is be coming along. Be coming along means to be making progress or improving. His English is coming along well. This means his English is improving. The project is coming along faster than expected. This means the project is progressing quicker than planned. How is your new business coming along? This means the speaker is asking about the progress of the new business. The next phrase is be coming on. Be coming on means to be starting to develop, often used for illnesses, performances, or improvements. I think I have a cold coming on. This means I feel like I am starting to get sick. Her acting skills are really coming on. This means her ability to act is improving. The rain is coming on now. This means the rain is starting to fall. The next phrase is be confronted by something. Be confronted by something means to face or deal with a difficult situation or challenge. She was confronted by a difficult choice. This means she had to face a tough decision. The company was confronted by financial problems. This means the company had to deal with money issues. He was confronted by a group of reporters. This means he had to face a group of journalists asking questions. The next phrase is be confronted with something. Be confronted with something means to be faced with a challenge, problem, or difficult situation. They were confronted with a serious crisis. This means they had to deal with a major problem. We were confronted with unexpected delays. This means we had to face problems that caused delays. She was confronted with the truth about her past. This means she had to face the reality of her past experiences. The next phrase is be consumed by something. Be consumed by something means to be completely overwhelmed or controlled by a strong emotion. He was consumed by guilt after lying to his friend. This means he felt extremely guilty and could not stop thinking about it. She was consumed by fear when she heard the strange noise. This means she felt very afraid and could not focus on anything else. The scientist was consumed by his research. This means he was completely focused on his work. The next phrase is be consumed with something. Be consumed with something means to be filled with a strong emotion or feeling. She was consumed with jealousy when she saw them together. This means she felt very jealous and could not think of anything else. He was consumed with anger after hearing the news. This means he became very angry and could not control his emotions. The team was consumed with excitement before the final match. This means they felt extremely excited about the game. The next word is crawl. Crawl means to move slowly on hands and knees or to move very slowly. The baby started to crawl at 6 months old. This means the baby began moving on hands and knees at 6 months. The traffic was crawling during rush hour. This means the cars were moving very slowly in heavy traffic. A spider crawled across the wall. This means a spider moved slowly on the wall. The next phrase is be crawling with somebody. Be crawling with somebody means to be full of people, often in a crowded or overwhelming way. The mall was crawling with shoppers during the holiday sale. This means there were a lot of people in the mall. The stadium was crawling with fans before the concert. This means the stadium was full of people excited for the show. The office was crawling with reporters after the big announcement. This means many journalists were there to cover the news. The next phrase is be crawling with something. Be crawling with something means to be full of a large number of insects, animals, or unwanted things. The kitchen was crawling with ants after the food was left out. This means there were a lot of ants in the kitchen. The abandoned house was crawling with rats. This means the house had many rats inside. The beach was crawling with crabs at night. This means a lot of crabs were moving around the beach. The next word is swarm. Swarm means to move in large numbers, usually used for insects or people. Bees swarmed around the hive. This means many bees moved together near their hive. Tourists swarmed into the city during summer. This means a large number of tourists came to the city. Police swarmed the area after the robbery. This means many police officers arrived quickly at the location. The next phrase is be swarming with. Be swarming with means to be full of a large number of people or things moving together. The park was swarming with children on the weekend. This means there were many children in the park. The restaurant was swarming with customers during lunch hour. This means the restaurant was full of people. The garbage bin was swarming with flies. This means there were a lot of flies around the trash. The next word is teem. Teem means to be full of something, usually in large amounts or numbers. The river teems with fish in the summer. This means there are many fish in the river during summer. The forest teems with life after the rainy season. This means many animals and plants become active. The marketplace teems with activity in the morning. This means there are many people and things happening. The next phrase is be teeming with. Be teeming with means to be full of people, animals, or things moving actively. The street was teeming with tourists. This means there were many tourists walking around. The ocean was teeming with colorful fish. This means there were a lot of fish in the water. The garden was teeming with butterflies. This means there were many butterflies flying around. The next phrase is be disposed to do something. Be disposed to do something means to have a tendency or willingness to do something. She is disposed to help others whenever she can. This means she is naturally willing to help people. He was disposed to forgive his friend after their argument. This means he was willing to forgive him. They are disposed to take risks in business. This means they are more likely to take chances. The next word is dump. Dump means to drop something heavily or to get rid of something. He dumped his old clothes in the trash. This means he threw away his old clothes. She dumped the books on the table. This means she put the books down carelessly. The company dumped toxic waste into the river. This means the company threw harmful chemicals into the water. The next phrase is be down in the dumps. Be down in the dumps means to feel very sad or depressed. She's been down in the dumps since she lost her job. This means she has been feeling very unhappy. After his breakup, he was down in the dumps for weeks. This means he felt very sad after the breakup. The rainy weather makes me feel down in the dumps. This means the weather makes me feel sad. The next phrase is be down to somebody. Be down to somebody means to be someone's responsibility or decision. It's down to you to make the final choice. This means you are responsible for making the decision. The success of the project is down to the team's hard work. This means the team's effort is the reason for the success. It's down to me to finish this report by tomorrow. This means I am responsible for completing the report. The next word is endow. Endow means to give something valuable, such as money or a quality. The billionaire endowed the university with a large donation. This means he gave a lot of money to the university. She is endowed with great musical talent. This means she naturally has a lot of musical ability. The new law endowed citizens with more rights. This means the law gave people more rights. The next phrase is be endowed with something. Be endowed with something means to naturally have a particular quality, ability, or feature. She is endowed with great intelligence. This means she naturally has a high level of intelligence. The painting is endowed with a sense of deep emotion. This means the painting expresses strong emotions. He is endowed with a strong sense of justice. This means he naturally cares about fairness. The next phrase is be far removed from something. Be far removed from something means to be very different from something. His new life in the city is far removed from his childhood in the village. This means his current life is very different from his past. The movie is far removed from reality. This means the movie is very unrealistic. Her opinion is far removed from mine. This means she has a very different point of view. The next phrase is be foreign to somebody. Be foreign to somebody means to be strange or unfamiliar to someone. The local customs were foreign to me when I first moved here. This means I didn't understand the traditions at first. Speaking in public is foreign to him. This means he is not used to speaking in front of people. The idea of dishonesty is foreign to her. This means she does not understand or accept dishonesty. The next phrase is, be full of yourself. Be full of yourself means to think too highly of yourself and act in a self-important way. He is so full of himself that he never listens to others. This means he is arrogant and does not consider other people's opinions. She was full of herself after winning the competition. This means she became overly proud of her success. Nobody likes working with someone who is full of themselves. This means people dislike arrogant and self-centered individuals.